happy without me. But then again and again, when the soul insisted, like Krishna, okay, I'll give you the small toy set. The way like mother gave the toy set to the daughter. Similarly, the Lord has created this material world. This material world is just like a trial, this toy set. So this we get the body, we get the family, we get everything, all the facilities. Okay, you want to become independent of the Lord, try to become happy. And eventually when we realize, ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, he was once in the Western country, and someone asked Srila Prabhupada, why God created this world? So many times, different times, Prabhupada used to answer different way. So once Srila Prabhupada answered, why God created this world? So Prabhupada just answered in one word, frustration. So that we get sufficiently frustrated and we realize that actually we don't belong to this world. We belong to Krishna. So like here we come, and as soon as you hear the kirtan, you see the Lord, you come in this atmosphere and feel some different kind of pleasure, some different kind of happiness. So that happiness is the happiness connected to the soul, Atma, for which we are looking for from so many lives. So the question is, why Lord has created this world and the human being? So the main answer is we wanted a separate world from the Lord. That's why Lord has created this world, to get this experience. Another also analogy is given, this material world, the superintendent who is controlling this world is called as Durga. So in Sanskrit, the fort, the jail is also called as Durga. The one who controls the Durga is called Durga. So this material world is also compared to a prison house. So those who doesn't listen to the government, those who doesn't follow the laws of the government, they are sent for some reformation. So another purpose of this material world is also reformation. So we get reformed, we accept the law of the God, we understand our purpose, and then ultimately get connected to the Lord. Is it okay? Thank you. So, anything you'd like to add? Hare Krishna. So anyone else have any? Thank you. So there are two questions here. First is about those who are already here practicing Krishna consciousness. Could you please tell me how to keep my chanting steady and how to get myself to engage in the chanting? So here we are hearing that the devotees are chanting Hare Krishna. So first thing is to accept the practice of chanting Hare Krishna, but another thing is to maintain steadily the consistency. So what is the most important thing? Srila Prabhupada is to answer that if you associate with a drunkard, you become a drunkard. If you associate with a drug addict, you become a drug addict. Similarly, if you associate with those who are steady in chanting, you become also steady in chanting. So foundation of our practice of Krishna consciousness is a strong association. Based on the quality of association, we advance in our Krishna consciousness. So any specific aspect we have, like we want to develop a taste for chanting, or we want to develop a taste for reading. So the first most important thing is we need to associate with those who already have the steady chanting. That is simple thing. And how to get myself to engage in the chanting? Yeah, that's by the association. Okay. And two things are there. One is called a do's and another is called a don't. So those who are very steady in the chanting, those who are very serious in chanting, we associate with them. And another thing is we need to avoid the association of those who are very much materialistic in consciousness. Like as soon as we come here, there's a different atmosphere you see here. Everyone's chanting, everyone's dancing. It's completely out of the world. We don't even feel that we are in Mauritius. Completely different world, very spiritually surcharged. So as soon as we come in the association, we have two effects in our life. First thing, we develop the inclination for spiritual practice. Second thing, our inclination for the sinful activities get reduced. So similarly, as soon as we go away from this atmosphere, as soon as we go in the materialistic atmosphere, it also has two effects. Our inclination for practice of Krishna consciousness gets reduced. No one is chanting, everyone is enjoying, they are watching the movies, they have the different lifestyle. So we get discouraged in our own practice. Our conviction gets shaken. And the second thing is, our desire to enjoy the world also increases. So the one do's is to have the association of sincere chanters. But another thing is to avoid the materialistic association. So the second question here, it seems now that people are mostly doing unauthorized activities. For example, doing drugs, rape, committing murders, are growing up as well as children. How to put an end to all this? So now there's so many, especially as this present age which is called as the Kali Yuga. So Kali means Kalaha, age of quarrel. So as this age is advancing, we will see the effects. So slowly, gradually, sinful activities are increasing more and more. People are committing more sinful activities. Even what to say of committing sinful activity has become the inseparable part of the life. They don't even feel that that is sin. They feel that everything is nice. If you eat non-veg, or if you do this thing or if you do that thing, you kill someone, they don't even feel that it is sin. That is the greatest dilemma now, that people don't even know what is sin and what is not sin. So that is the degradation of the Kali Yuga. So how to put an end to this? So in other words, how to put an end to Kali Yuga? That is the question. Yeah. Till the time this Kali Yuga will be there, naturally this will be there. So Bhagavatam gives a solution. Kale dosho nidhi rajan asti eko mahan guna kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangha param braje. This present age is full of faults. There so many faults are there. But the most important thing, how to nullify all these faults, the most powerful process is this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. As we see here, so practically we can see that devotees are chanting here, they're dancing. So can you see anyone having the inclination to commit sinful activities in that atmosphere? Someone will commit murder, or someone will commit suicide in front of Jagannath, or someone will do some wrong activities. So wherever there is chanting of Hare Krishna is going on, naturally all this inclination will destroy. So the most important aspect in our life is, first, we should be convinced about this practice of chanting Hare Krishna, and slowly, gradually, wherever we are, whatever environment we are, we have to induce everyone to chant Hare Krishna. So when everyone will keep chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, when there is Sankirtan, then only these effects will go. So special, like here we also have the books of Srila Prabhupada, which is especially the Bhagavad Gita, we see the Bhagavatam. So these books have a special effect. Throughout the world, practically it has proven, wherever these books have gone, the people have started chanting Hare Krishna. So the first thing I gave, how to put end to all these activities, by chanting Hare Krishna, by making others to chant Hare Krishna. But the thing is, we are not qualified enough, or we don't have that power to make everyone chant Hare Krishna. So easiest way is we try to distribute these books. So more these books will go in the hands of the people, more people will start chanting Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So anyone has anything more? किसी का और किसी हिंदी भाषा में हो तो पूछ सकते हैं. Thank you. Hare Krishna. How to improve our hearing and reading of Shastra. Mostly the devotees are asking the question, how to improve the hearing and reading. So what you are doing now, that is also hearing. By hearing only you improve your hearing. The most important thing, what I have realized, is practice of Krishna consciousness is contagious. Most important thing which can inspire you for any practice, whether it is chanting, whether it is reading, whether it is hearing, is association. So the devotees are there, those who are very serious in the study of Shastra. They are always engaged in hearing. If we associate with them, that is the most important thing, which will also inspire us for hearing and chanting. Anything else? Anyone would like to ask, or they would like to add? Mother. Krishna Pamo, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Why are there so many Hindu associations following different ways, such that there is no Hindu unity? What can we Hindus do about it? How to bring the unity? That is the question. So why there are so many? Krishna also says that everyone has everyone's an individual soul. So there is an individuality of soul is also there. So we can't say that two people have the same thing. So why there are differences of practices even in the one religion also? So say someone is on the first standard of the school and another is on the 5th standard of the school and third one is on the 10th standard of school. So naturally all three students will be having different kind of mathematics. It's not that the first standard student will be taught the mathematics of 10th standard. So based on the level of faith, it is said, level of Shraddha, different kind of religions come. So that is the main reason. And how we can bring the unity. So again the same thing. It's not easy to bring the unity, but the most important thing, when they understand that they have the common father, the two people will get the feeling of brotherhood only when they will realize that they both have one father. So similarly, accepting the universal fatherhood is the only thing which can bring the universal brotherhood. When you understand that we all have the same father, that's the one thing. And second thing, the purpose also. That ultimately, what is the purpose? when they have the same goal, when naturally everyone will sit in the same vehicle. If everyone wants to reach to this Rath Yatra destination, different people might go to different parts of the Mauritius, and one vehicle is coming here, so whoever has the same goal, they will come together. So everyone has to bring to this understanding. And what is that understanding? The goal is we are not the body, we are the soul. And we have a connection with the God. So with this true understanding, the unity can come. Hari Prabhuji, Mataji has some question. Anything Prabhuji want to add? There's another mic. Yeah, this Prabhuji. Can you turn on this mic?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for coming to answer question and answers both here. So, when we practice devotional service, we are faced with challenges of life. As a Grihastha, we have got our own challenges and also our challenges for spiritual life. So, how to reconcile these two?
Sorry, can you repeat? It's not clear for me.
Okay, so a bit louder like this here.
Yeah. No.
So, we are practicing devotees. So, devotees are also in Grihastha life. And also, they are practicing devotional service. So, there are challenges in both. As a Grihastha, how to meet the challenges in the spiritual life.
Okay. Better you have more realizations about that. I can just, okay. We just asked about the challenges of Grihastha life. I can just give something from the scriptures. When Lord Chaitanya was in the South India Yatra, and then there was a Brahmana was there. He asked Lord Chaitanya that I want to accompany you because there are so many challenges are in the Grihastha life. And when I'm in the association of devotees, I'm feeling very nice. But as soon as I will go back to my family life, I will get influenced by Maya. So what to do? So Lord Chaitanya gave two solutions. If you can follow these two solutions, you won't get it affected by all the difficulties of the family life. The two spiritual solutions which are given by Lord Chaitanya is, first he says, Prabhu kahe aichi baat kabhu na kahibo, grihe rahe Krishna naam nirantar laibo. So first thing Lord Chaitanya said, don't think about leaving the home. Don't give up home, family life. Live in family only. But under the two conditions. So first thing is, grihe rahi Krishna naam nirantar laibo. The first thing, we have to develop this habit, we have to develop this culture. The way we are constantly breathing, we are inhaling and exhaling. Similarly, devotee has come to that point when he can develop this habit of constant chanting Mahamantra. Graha rahi Krishna naam nirantar laibo. That is the first instruction for the Grihastha, not for the Brahmachari, for the Sannyasi. Lord Chaitanya is saying, for the Grihasthas from morning to evening, whatever activities you are doing, whether you are cooking in the kitchen, whether you are driving the vehicle, whether you are doing some business, whatever activities you are doing, you have to develop that habit to connect chanting with each and every activity. When you are walking, you have to chant. When you are driving, you have to develop the chanting. When you are cooking, when you are bathing, practice every activity. Because death can come at any moment. While driving also, death can come. It's not that morning time when you are chanting your 16 rounds, then only death is going to come. Death can come with any activity. So we have to develop a habit of chanting with every activity. That is the most important thing. Now the question can come that as a Grihastha, we have to deal with the people in the outside world. when you're doing the business, or when you're running the Govinda restaurant. Yeah, different things you have to deal with the people. That is called a vyavhara. So then the second solution, and the second solution is Jare dekh tare kah Krishna upadesh Amar agya guru bhaiya tare desh. When you are not dealing with the outside people, then you should continue the chanting of Hare Krishna. But when you have to deal with the people, most important thing, with each and every person with whom you interact, you have to speak about Krishna. So this is the two most important thing. So as like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also says, Prana che jar sehetu prachar. The symptom of life in Krishna consciousness, how you can understand that someone is really lively. Someone is lively in Krishna consciousness. So when he keeps speaking about Krishna. So we see here also, you can see, as soon as there is a chanting is going on, you are speaking about Krishna. The most important thing is you won't get affected with the lower modes. Those who are sitting here, while listening, they may go to sleep also. While listening, they may also get some kind of wrong thoughts in their mind. But while speaking, there is no possibility that I will go to sleep. I might be feeling sleepy when I was standing in the Rath Yatra. But now if I had to speak, I can't sleep here now. So this Sankirtan, speaking about Krishna, is the most powerful, you can say, the shield, like the protection shield, which will protect you from all the material vibrations as you start speaking about Krishna. So these are the two things which Lord Chaitanya has told. So even while living in the family, as we say, Srila Prabhupada gives the example of bringing Krishna in the center. So how to bring Krishna in the center? The most important, whoever with you have, like the family members are there, with whoever you are dealing with, somehow you need to have some common practice. At least you should chant together, you should do kirtan together, that's one thing. You should read Bhagavatam together, you should hear Krishna Katha together. These are certain things. Once His Holiness Bhakti Rasam Swami was there, and someone asked the question, Maharaj, when we are doing services together, we get some conflicts, we get into some disagreements, and then we develop some offenses. So what to do? And then Bhakti Swami said, it's not that 24 hours we are doing management. It's not that 24 hours we are doing all these services in which we get some disagreement. There are other times when we are purely having the Krishna conscious practice. At that time, say you are doing service with someone with whom you have disagreement, then you should make sure that other time you should sit with him and chant. You should, what Sri Rupa Goswami speaks in the Nectar of Instruction, 4th verse, about the 6 symptoms of Priti Lakshanam, 6 symptoms of loving exchanges. That is another most important aspect. We honor Prasad together, we chant together, we hear together. Another very powerful thing, one devotee gave the solution, especially in the temple. They found that devotees were very together, united. So then the question has been asked that what is the rahasya, you can say. What is the secret behind the unity? And the most important thing which has been found in the temple, that it was mandatory that all the devotees have to be present for Srila Prabhupada's Guru Puja. And they used to have 1 hour of kirtan. In front of Prabhupada, they should do 1 hour kirtan. So this is another thing which I experienced in many of the temples. Because it's Srila Prabhupada's mission. When you bring Srila Prabhupada in the center, then everyone becomes united. Another temple I saw, they gave the solution how to bring the unity in the temple. So they gave, all devotees should come together and read Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita. Then that brings. Similarly, in the family life also, we have we can do kirtans together, We can read Bhagavatam together, some of the things. By this, the love can become more intimate. The relationship will get spiritualized. Because you are more realized, you can add something. Okay, yes. Okay. Somewhere in class I heard that we, even as struggle devotee, we cannot get communication with the Lord Shri Krishna directly. But with the situation sometime in life, I personally experienced that the Lord communicated by some signal or action. So it is on a false belief or true? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mattas mritir jnanam apohanam cha. So Krishna is residing in the heart, and Krishna says, I give the intelligence, I give the remembrance, I give the knowledge, I give the forgetfulness. So the question is, now something is coming in my mind, it is my own mind's mental concoction, or it's the signal of Krishna. So we have a tally system that is called as Guru Sadhu Shastra. If something is coming in the mind, it has to be checked with some existing guide or guru we have. It should be checked with the Shastra, and it should check with the Sadhu. The Guru Sadhu Shastra we say. So Guru means the physical person we have who is guiding us, and then we have the scriptures, and Sadhu means the previous acharyas. So something that as soon as something comes in mind, oh, I think Krishna is giving me the inspiration. So whether it's matching all these three, that is most important thing. Krishna is giving me the inspiration that I should leave home and I should go to Vrindavan. So is it right or wrong? Yes, Bangdevru?
Well, referring to the story you said about Lord Chaitanya, so we refer to what the previous Acharya said. So we can see maybe it's...
So when we see the scriptures, now the thought is coming in the mind that I should go to Vrindavan. I should leave Mauritius and go to Vrindavan. Is that correct? So should we follow what is coming in the mind? So Lord Chaitanya has given different instructions to different devotees. Lord Chaitanya told Nityananda that you should live in Bengal, don't come to Jagannath Puri. Lord Chaitanya told to Jagdanu Pandit, don't go to Vrindavan, live here. Live in Jagannath Puri. And Lord Chaitanya said to Rup Sanatan, go to Vrindavan. So it depends ultimately. Someone told Srila Prabhupada, I want to chant 64 rounds in Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada, what he replied? If you want, that is sense gratification. So when you have the construction, when you do the construction of the building, most important part is the foundation. The foundation of all our practice is Adav Guru Padashraya. It should be directed by the Guru and Sadhus. So whatever thought comes in mind, I want to chant more rounds or I want to read, so it should be checked with some senior, those who are guiding us, that we can say. So, anything else? Is okay? Is satisfying? How can a devotee have a perfect balance between one's spiritual life, prescribed duties and work life? So there are two kind of balance, they say. It's called as what is this? Static balance and dynamic balance. Static balance means like you have seen sometimes, at least in India we have seen some in the circus or some in melas, when girl is standing on the rope, so that is like a static balance. And then you have the dynamic balance means so like ice skating. You see, they have some performance. They have the ice skating, and then they have to balance their body at the same time. They have the movement also. So We have so many things in our dynamics of our life. As soon as you become the devotee, the first most thing is you have to chant your 16 rounds every day. Then second thing is you have to follow 4 regulative principles. Then third thing, Srila Prabhupada says, you have to strictly also take care of your morning program. Then another thing is you have to take care of your body also. As a follower of Srila Prabhupada, you need to have some commitment for Srila Prabhupada's mission. You should do some contribution also. You also need to take care of your health. Then you also need to take care of your family. You also need to take care of your business. There's so many things at a time. So like when you go to a driving school, in the four-wheeler, when they teach how to drive four-wheeler, they have like what they say, A, B, C, the accelerator, brake and clutch, and then there's a gear, then there is a steering. So they have to keep their eye on the accelerator, brake and clutch, on the gear, on the steering, in the front, in the rear window. So many things at a time. So that it's impossible. How one can focus on all the things at a time? So then the answer is, practice makes a man perfect. So similarly, there are varieties. So the simple solution has been given by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one of the ideal Grihastha. And that is called as 8-8-8. So 24 hours has been divided into 3. 8 hours for the body, 8 hours for the soul, and 8 hours for the world. So 8 hours for the body means 6 hours you can sleep, and then you can have your food, you can have your bath, water, taking care of the body. 8 hours for that. And 8 hours for the soul. So you are chanting, you read, you hear, you worship, you take part in some kirtan. And then 8 hours for the world. So your profession, your business, your job. So ideally that's the thing, that's the balance. The ideal balance. But then another thing is, one is called as theory and second is called as application. So for the application you need some personal guide. So based on the circumstances, based on the different situations, sometimes this can go up and down. Like when you are at the festival, you need to give some more time for the spiritual thing. And naturally your business will get, when Kante Prabhu is taking care of me, so he is giving less time for the restaurant. But when the Anantshish will go from the home, then he will give more time. So you have to keep the balance. Sometimes you can have like maybe 10 hours for the business, and maybe a little it will get reduced. So by the experience and by the some perfect guidance of superiors, those who are more experienced, we can learn how to make the balance. So you want to add something? They can directly ask on the mic also instead of giving me paper. If someone wants to ask on the mic. They have something behind. Yes. Just what is Omkara? Pranava Sarvedeshu Shabda Khai Kapavisham Vishnu. Omkar is a sound form of the absolute truth. In simple way, we can say. So here we have the Lord Jagannath. You see, the same Supreme Lord, he appears in different forms. So this is called as Daru Brahma, the Lord in the form of wood. So similarly, when the Lord appears in the form of a sound, the first sound which appeared is a Omkara. That is all. Yes. Next.
So there is a question from Prabhu here. I read the question.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj is quoting you, Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances at the dust of your lotus feet. It seemed that due to human being, the yugas change because they degraded themselves due to karma. But the animals have no karma. Please elaborate on this.
Can I have the paper? I may missed some part. Like listening was some. background music was coming. It seems that due to human being, as human beings have become degraded themselves because of the karmas, but the animals have no karma. So it's not like that. Everyone who is living here has some in the language of science we say for every action there is always equal and opposite reaction. So what is happening, it's because of some reactions we may not see. One is called as instant reaction, second is called a delayed reaction, and then there is a distant reaction. So like you're walking on the street and suddenly you slap someone, you get an immediate reaction. Now here, His Holiness Bhakti Chandra Swami Maharaj ki jai. Maharaj, please kindly accept my respects. So I'll just finish this. So, okay. So the first is called as instant, like as soon as you slap someone and then he also slaps you, that is instant. Now you come for the festival and then you have a huge feast and you eat unrestrictedly. Then you get a reaction to next day morning, you get some stomach upset. So that is like a delayed reaction. And like you see in the movies, someone kills a person and then the son takes the revenge after 20 years. So there are like different time duration for the reactions. So whether someone is getting the human body or the animal body, that is also the result of reaction. In Shastra, human body is called as karma yoni and other animals are called as bhoga yoni. So based on the previous actions, they get certain bodies like dog or cat for a certain time. Only human has this you can say prerogative that we are not only getting the reaction, but we are also creating the subsequent future, our destiny, based on the actions we are performing. So we have that freedom, what's mentioned here. So I think that it's a little clear. That's the difference between humans and animals. Thank you. I got angry easily. How can I control my anger? By chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, I can say. That's one of the practical solutions. Yeah. It has helped many people. At least like I'm giving my own personal experience. In my childhood, I was known for being short-tempered. Especially in the home, like you have to break all the toys as soon as you get angry. But this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is really a very powerful thing. We start practicing this mantra, then we see that because the Sanskrit word is mantra, it consists two syllables, ma and tra. So ma means mind and tra means deliver. So when it delivers, what elevates the mind. So especially this, what are the lower modes, we become angry. So one of the also reason of being angry is we are trying to control the situations. We are trying to control the people or people's behavior. But when you chant Hare Krishna, when you also read Bhagavad Gita, you understand the superior control in our life. So we don't get disturbed very easily. So the spiritual solution is the most important. I can tell you something about positive thinking, but that won't like practically help you. But this practice of mantra and the study of Bhagavad Gita can really help you to cure the anger. Thank you, Harish. So we have with us this Bhakti Chandra Swami Maharaj. Hare Krishna Maharaj. There's a current in the mic. Maharaj.
पानी पानी आता है महाराज का ये
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, I can see you're all smiling already. You see, it works. What Ananta Shesh Prabhu was saying works. Gets you free from anger and all other, psychological, emotional problems, and so on and so forth. Okay. So I'm going to try to answer. I have one question here already. And are there more already? There's a few more? Okay. Otherwise, you'll pass the thing around, right? And people can write down questions. Yes. Okay, so first of all, though, Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nera Vishesha Shunyavadi Paschachadeshatarane Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Manchakatribhyas Chakri Prasindhya Paritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Yes, okay everyone, here we go. Our first question is, if Krishna is God for all people, why is it that every time he appears in this world, it is only in India? Well, that's an interesting question, isn't it? The problem with the question is, it's the wrong question. Because it's not that every time he appears in this world, it is only in India. It's not. He appears not only, well, he appears in India, that's a fact, but not only in India, he appears all over, and he actually appears on other planets. What to speak of in other countries or other sort of geographical areas. He appears on other planets. How's that? That's getting around a bit, isn't it? That's pretty universal. Yeah. But anyway, having said that, it is a fact that Krishna does appear regularly in India. You know, India is known as Punya Bhumi. It's a Sanskrit term. Punya means piety, piousness, piety, and Bhumi means a land, a place, a country, basically, that sort of idea. So in India there is a more pious atmosphere generally. That's a fact. And even you go there now, and although it's not what it was going back even 100 years, what to speak of a few thousand years. But still the atmosphere there is more pious, that's true. And there is a prevalence of greater purity. I mean piety, let's say piety or purity. Yeah. I mean that's sort of by the way in one sense. But actually Krishna appears all over. So, you know, I'm sure Krishna has appeared in Mauritius. Yes. In Mauritius. And I am born, at least, I was born in New Zealand. And I assume Krishna has appeared in New Zealand too. And currently I'm based in South Africa. And I'm sure Krishna appeared in South Africa. So don't worry, you know, don't get into anxiety. I mean, some people do become concerned, you could say. They feel something is wrong because they think that Krishna and Krishna consciousness is specifically Indian. Specifically Indian. But it's not really, it's an inaccurate idea. It's just not correct. Yes, some people think that Krishna consciousness and Krishna is only for Indian people. But, well, one time I was in our temple in Chatsworth in Durban, quite some years ago, at least 10 years ago or something along those lines. And I was in the temple room, it was kind of mid-morning, and in came one Indian gentleman. He came in and I walked up to him and I spoke to him, and we were talking about his sort of religious and spiritual ideas and, you know, what he thinks about these things. And in the course of our conversation, I said to him, you know, this is very nice. This temple is very nice. We have many programs, and many people come, and the programs are nice, and the people are nice, and you're nice. As far as I can see, you're nice. So why don't you sort of get involved and start coming regularly? And he said, well, no, I don't know, but I don't think so. And I said, well, why? What's the problem? And he said, you know, the thing is that our temple there in Chatsworth and Durban, he said, this temple is a Hindi temple, he said. And he said that I am Tamil, which, in case you're not familiar with these things, Tamil basically means South Indian, and Hindi would mean North Indian, just in very general terms. And there are different languages between South India and North India. So he said, no, you know, I'm Tamil, this is a Hindi temple, I wouldn't fit in. And I said to him, well, listen, look at me. Do I look North Indian to you? And he had to admit I had a point. So yeah, I'm not North Indian. Yeah. So in other words, it's for everyone. Krishna's for everyone. And you know, one interesting little point, related, it's sort of a different point, but it's related, is that in Chaitanya Charitamrita, one of the books which, you know, like the traditional books in our line, in that book, Chaitanya Charitamrita, there Srila Prabhupada makes the statement that there are deities of Krishna in every country. And Prabhupada says in due course people will find those deities. Yeah. You know, like there are deities, is it Azerbaijan or Albania, one of those countries, there's a temple, a Vishnu temple from way back. Yeah. So don't be in anxiety that if you get involved in Krishna consciousness, you're going to become like just Indian. I mean, we are not anti-Indian. Don't worry about that either. There are many things to worry about in this world, but we're not anti-Indian. In fact, so many of my friends are Indian, actually. I mean, really, the majority, I'd say. Yeah, so if you're not from an Indian background in terms of your birth and upbringing, don't be anxious that by becoming involved in Krishna consciousness, you are going to be becoming Indian as opposed to, you know, whatever your background is. Yeah. But my mother, bless her heart, my late mother, she was worried about that. Okay, here we go. Here's another couple of questions. And feel free to write down a question. The thing's going around, right? Yeah. Oh! Hare Krishna. Applause. He did it very nicely, didn't he? Congratulations. It was worth applause, the way you did it. Okay, here we go. Here's another question. What happens to someone who led a proficient Krishna conscious life? That's interesting. An interesting idea, a proficient Krishna conscious life. Chanted all his rounds and always engaged in devotional service, but failed to remember Krishna at the time of death. Well, this is another thing. It's a bit of a, to some degree, it's a bit of a misconception. The misconception is that in order to return to the kingdom of God, you must, with a capital M, and a capital U, and a capital S, and a capital T, you must, at the time you actually die, which is like a second when the soul actually leaves the body. It's not that the soul sort of slowly leaves the body and makes the way, you know, through the organs and whatever. No. Yeah, it's the misunderstanding is that at the actual time you must be remembering Krishna. Otherwise, sorry, better luck next time. Better luck next lifetime. It's not quite like that. And you know that, I don't know if you've seen people die. I mean, not so many people have seen people die. I mean, if you're a doctor or a nurse, you would have seen people die. Normally, when people die, they sort of slowly fade out. I mean, in the sense that they become like semi-conscious and they sort of drift into unconsciousness. And then they're like kind of comatose, you could say, for a few hours. And then people notice, oh, the heartbeat has stopped. The machine which is showing the heart, the activities of the heart, oh look, it stopped. So, yeah, like in the movies, and I mean, not all the movies, but the more sort of violent movies. I don't advise you to watch any movies, actually. But these violent movies where people get shot, and as I understand, I used to watch occasionally that sort of movie long time ago when I was young, like 50 years ago. And, someone normally, at least in my experience from watching these things, someone goes bang with their gun, and the person who got shot is dead. That's it. But my father, who was in the Second World War, my father told me that in his experience, when people get shot, they normally die from loss of blood. It takes a while for the blood, to sort of leave, and then so it's kind of slow. They may be incapacitated, so they can't just run around. Sometimes they can. Yeah. So anyway, the thing is, I'm just sort of mentioning these types of background points because the understanding, and Prabhupada talks about this, is that if a person, it's all very well and good if you actually remember Krishna and then zap, that's it, goodbye. That's fine. But in most cases, there's this kind of drifting away into death. So the point is there, that if a person has done like what you've said here, led a proficient life, isn't that an interesting term to use? A proficient Krishna conscious life, chanted all his rounds and always engaged in devotional service. So if someone has lived like that, they really have lived like that. But then, as happens with so many people, they die fairly slowly, at least an hour or a couple of hours, losing consciousness and sort of drifting away. And it may take longer than a couple of hours. Then, if they have lived like this, nicely, really sincerely practicing Krishna consciousness, then, Krishna's a person, and Krishna is a nice person. Krishna is a nice guy. He's not one of these nasty people who wants to get you or something like that. He's a nice guy. And if he sees that you've really done like that, then he'll help you as you go slowly through the time of death over hours. Even Prabhupada, he sort of drifted away, actually, but then right in the final minutes, he came to more like consciousness. But otherwise he was unconscious, semi to unconscious for some time before he left his body. So don't worry, Krishna will help you. And if Krishna feels that, you know, you did your best, you really did your best, which is about the best you can do. You can't really do better than your best. If he feels you've done your best, then he'll take you. He'll take you, yeah. So don't worry about that too much. Right. How to complete rounds when one is under a hectic schedule. Any tips? Yeah, well, for those of you who may not be familiar with what we do, we chant every day the Hare Krishna mantra on our beads. Look at my beads. Here's my beads. Here. These are my beads. Yeah, I've had them for a good few decades. So, when I have a student who lives in Lithuania, in Europe, sort of northeastern Europe. Extremely nice fellow and extremely nice devotee. He was just in India with me just a matter of a couple of weeks ago. So he was working as a, what would you say, sort of like, kind of like a salesman or marketing person for medical equipment. Kind of like, you know, higher level medical scientific equipment. And, you know, it's not that you just open a shop and you just sell higher level medical equipment. He would have to go around and visit different offices and places where they use higher level medical equipment. But then he wanted to come, but for the first time, this was quite some years ago, 20 or even more than 20 years ago, he wanted to visit India for the first time, but he didn't have much money, so he used to drive around and visit these different medical type places. He sold his car. So he could go to India on pilgrimage, and he did, and he came back and he had no car. So now he's got to get around and visit these places. They're sort of in commercial areas or even industrial type areas. The places where he would visit and deal in the equipment with them. So but now he had to use a bus. And the buses in Lithuania, I don't think any of you are familiar with the buses in Lithuania, are you? Not? Well, in the buses in Lithuania, they're packed with people, wall-to-wall people, you know, in your face. You just jam-packed, literally, with people. And they play this sort of heavy, I don't know if it's rock music or what you'd call it, but heavy music. This music that goes boom, 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 like that. And it's sort of, you know, knockout music. So he asked me, how do you chant your rounds nicely on your beads when your people are just sort of on top of you and the music is going boom, boom, boom? How do you chant your rounds nicely? And I said, well, you don't actually. what you do, you get a different job. That's what you do. So he did. And he got a position, because not all jobs are equal. Like so many things in this world, not all jobs are equal. So he found one where he didn't have to do like that. And then he was able to chant his rounds nicely, and so it solved his problem. Yeah, so if you've got a hectic schedule, I would suggest, what's the ideal situation for a Hare Krishna devotee? If you got to earn money, maybe you've got a family, so it's a serious responsibility. So, what's the ideal situation? The ideal situation is like this. Listen to this. Find some sort of occupation where you work as little as possible and you make as much money as possible. Try and find that sort of situation. And you might think, oh, come on, it doesn't exist. But actually it does exist. I know a number of devotees who don't work much at all, but they have income sufficient and more than sufficient income coming in. Thing is, you got to use your brains. Work smart. Work smarter than just working harder. And you'd be surprised what you can come up with, what you can find. Although it's not easy, but you'd be surprised what you can find. Yeah, because if you're working like, the proverbial dog, you must know you're probably not in the right sort of situation. Yeah, so look around. And maybe you can start a little business. Anyway, you've got to be careful doing business. But you've got to be careful with everything. Yeah. So I know a few devotees. Well, even my father, would you believe, my father, he was a business person. And he worked 4.5 days a week. Every Wednesday, after lunch, he went and played golf. Every Wednesday. Every single Wednesday without fail, after lunch, he went and played golf. And he was not a poor person. He was not a poor person. I mean, he wasn't like a very wealthy person, but he was definitely not a poor person. So find some situation, something like that, and use your brains. And don't just get locked into, a situation which is just too unfavorable. Yeah, watch out for unfavorableness. Really watch out for it. Because you can become a prisoner of your work. I know one devotee in Johannesburg, South Africa. He was offered a promotion and, with a good increase of salary, he took it. And then he found he had to work at least 6 days a week, sometimes 7. And on the weekdays, he had to work 10 to 14 hours a day. And he earned lots of money, but he had no time to spend it, because he was just working too much. So I know another devotee who was offered a promotion, and he understood, I'm going to have to work more, and I won't have so much time for my Krishna consciousness. So you know what he did? He refused the promotion. And everyone thought he was crazy at work. Everyone thought he was crazy. But he's still there, and he's earning enough, and he's got time. He's got time for his spiritual life. Because you know, Chanaka Pandit, famous sort of, what would you say? Anyway, a wise man, all sorts of wise isms. Don't do this, do that. Sort of ideas how to live and what to avoid doing in life. And Prabhupada occasionally quoted him. Chanaka Pandit said that time is so valuable that if you waste 1 second, you cannot buy it back for all the money. And you know, who has all the money? Even if you're Mr. Musk, you know, crazy Mr. Musk, he hasn't got enough money, he hasn't got anywhere near enough money to buy back 1 second if he wastes it. What to speak of 1 hour or 1 day or a week or something like that. So time is of extreme importance and extreme value. So as devotees, we must see that we organize our lives so we have enough time. Yeah, enough time to do what we want to do, what we need to do. Is this your daughter? What is your name, young lady? What is it? Devaki. Oh, you got a good name. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna to you. How old are you?
8.
Wow. You're big. You're catching up to me. Anyway, it's okay. Okay, here's another question. If a man's job includes cutting trees, is it bad karma? Well, yes, it is bad karma, because if you're cutting trees, you are killing. Yeah, you're killing. So there's some bad karma there. But, you know, it's not easy to find a job where there is no bad karma. Even if if you have a vegetarian restaurant, for example, a vegetarian restaurant, there is some bad karma in that you are, generally you have to kill the vegetables. I mean, not in all cases. Like if you eat an apple, you don't actually kill the apple. Well, I suppose you do, really. But it's different from like a cauliflower. If you decapitate a cauliflower, that's bad karma. You kill the cauliflower. Rice, you boil rice. Rice is alive. And when you cook it, you kill it. I mean, generally, unless you use like parboiled rice, then the rice you use generally is alive. And when you cook it, you kill it. Dal, like whole mung, green mung. I mean, it's one thing, the yellow mung, the split mung, but the green mung, you can plant it. Just the green mung you buy in the shop up the road, you can plant it and it will grow because it's alive. So when you make your nice dal to have with your nice rice, which you already killed, you've killed the dal too. So it's very hard. So therefore, you know, what we do when it comes to eating food, and I know the majority, at least maybe all of you are well aware, we offer the food to Krishna and he takes the karma. This is in terms of food. But if your job is to cut trees, you cannot exactly offer the trees to Krishna and in this way get free from the karma. So it's a bit of a, you know, unfortunate situation. But like I said, so many types of occupations, they have some sort of bad karma involved. In fact, the majority. Even, you know, if you have a bank account, I imagine that at least all of you who are adults, you have a bank account. Do you have a bank account? You do? One or two or three? Okay, at least one. So you put your money in the bank and you make a bit of interest, but you know what they do with your money? They invest it. They invest it. And they usually or often invest it in things like, you know, cigarettes and liquor. These are the normal types of things that banks invest your money in. So, you know, good luck. Bonne chance. So it's hard. And therefore in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna makes the point that generally speaking, on the material level, Krishna says that whatever type of work you do, there is some fault in it. But that doesn't mean you should stop your working just because there's some fault. You know, if there's a really serious fault, like you're working in a slaughterhouse, we would extremely strongly advise, don't do it. Or if you're working in a bar selling liquor, we would advise you, get out and find something, you know, at least relatively cleaner, so to speak. And so anyway, that verse is there. I forget the number. Do you remember the number of the verse? Every endeavor is covered by some degree of fault, but still you shouldn't give up your prescribed duty. In the purport, Prabhupada says how a Brahmin in his work may have to sacrifice animals. A Kshatriya, a warrior, may have to kill people. If I touch this, it may electrocute me, which is a quick way to go. You see, we were talking about that. So anyway, like, what did I say? Yeah, Prabhupada says a business person may have to lie. A business person who's selling things, he's got a shop, so he's selling whatever. And, you know, at least in India, you get these business people, and it's like a cliche actually. You negotiate, they bring the price down, and then you reach a certain level of price. What? I made a mistake, did I? And you reach a certain price, and they say, listen, this is less than what I paid for it, the shopkeeper's saying. And he says, for you I'm making no profit. And Prabhupada makes the point in the purport there, that if he tells you that, you must know he is lying, because he cannot not make a profit. He has to make a profit. Yeah. And Prabhupada also said, in funny little danger of electrocution. We will do electrocution prayers. So anyway, yeah, Prabhupada said that one of the reasons why shopkeepers in India have moustaches, and moustaches which are quite long, sort of go over their mouth to some degree. Prabhupada said that is because they don't want you, the customer, to see that they smile. They don't want you to see them smile when they tell you, I am making no profit on this. He smiles when he says that. Yeah. So anyway, Prabhupada says there in the purport, and it's in keeping with what Krishna says, of course, in the verse, that 1848 of Bhagavad Gita makes this point. Every endeavor is covered by some fault, right? But still you should not stop doing your prescribed duty. So, if your prescribed duty is to do business, then you very well may have to cheat sometimes. Otherwise, you'll go bankrupt. And you can't go bankrupt because that sort of, everything becomes wasted. So you may have to do something which is a little impious, not like super impious, like working in a slaughterhouse or selling people liquor, but something, something which is not so good, better not to do it. But you should do it in order to carry out your responsibilities. But like I said, Krishna makes the point that even like in the case of Arjuna, who was killing people on the battlefield, he was getting no karma because he was doing it for Krishna. Krishna took the karma. But now the verse is talking about a person who's not really a devotee. So they should still carry on doing their duty, even if there is some bad karma to some degree. Yeah. And Hare Krishna. Let me just make one other little point along this type of line about avoiding bad karma. There is a group, a religious group, called the Jains. And I don't think we have, I don't know if we have any, well, we have a few in South Africa, but really not many. And I don't know, in Mauritius, do you have Jains? Is there a Jain temple? Very few, right, okay. Very strict Jains, very strict. They wear a mask. They wear a mask so they don't breathe in any little bacterias or little, even microscopic little beings and kill them, in your mouth. and they're staunch vegetarians, super staunch, and when they walk in the street, they have like a little feather broom type of thing, and as they're walking, they're brushing the road, the footpath in front of them, so they don't step on some little insect or whatever. Yeah, and in this way, well, the whole idea is to avoid getting bad karma. But then, you know, like I mentioned, you have to eat. You have to eat. And when you eat, you're inevitably going to be killing potatoes. You know, we are all mass murderers of potatoes, I'm afraid. And rice and dal and just about everything, really. We are mass murderers. Yeah. So now the idea of the Jains is they eat, I mean, it's a specific type of vegetarian diet. They don't eat anything that grows underground. I don't know why, but anyway, they don't. And they're staunch vegetarians. No onion, no garlic. So, because their idea is, you know, we don't want any karma. But, you know, there's karma if you eat potatoes, rice, dal, cauliflowers, peas. There's karma involved. So if you don't want to get any karma in terms of what you eat, better to do what? Not to eat. I'm talking about in a material sense. Don't eat anything. Don't eat. But the problem with not eating is, you know, you're not killing any potatoes and rice and whatnot. But the problem is, you are killing this body. And this body, you have no more right to kill this body, your body, than you have a right to kill a potato. You have no more right. So it's really bad karma. In other words, you cannot avoid karma, bad karma, unless you take to Krishna consciousness and then you offer all your food to Krishna. And whatever you do it for Krishna, and Krishna takes the reactions. And, you know, in regards to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna didn't want to fight because he knew that he would have to kill people, and he assumed, at least the general thing is, you kill people, you get karma, you get bad karma. So he didn't want to do it. But then Krishna convinced him to do it as a service to him, and then Krishna would take the karma and he would be not just freed from karma, but he would get spiritual benefit by killing people in service to Krishna. So Arjuna got so inspired that Arjuna, he then went out to fight. And when he was fighting, Prabhupada makes the point, Arjuna it was like he was dancing. You know, generally dancing is fun and it's nice and, you know, you have a good time when you dance. So for Arjuna, it was like he was dancing, and off with his head, bang, goodbye to that fellow, and, you know, kill the next one, etc., etc. But he was dancing from one killing to the next because he was doing it for Krishna. So whatever your occupation is, if you do it for Krishna, you'll be in that sort of situation, and you can feel like that. If you're just working in some ordinary job at a bank or as an administrator in someone's business, but if you know that I am doing this in order to earn, to maintain my family, which is my duty to Krishna, then you'll be very happy doing it. Because even if it's a pretty boring job, but you'll be happy because you're doing it for Krishna, and that you'll feel the mercy which is there. And if, for example, you're a housewife, or not maybe just a housewife, but a married woman who generally is sort of in charge of the house, whether she works or not, then being a married woman, particularly if you don't have to work, is a very good position, because you can make your house Krishna conscious and get nice food and cook it and offer it to Krishna and see that your family gets nice prasadam. And in the evening, instead of watching TV, you can get your family together and have a Krishna conscious program. So it's very advantageous position compared to some, if you've got to work in some sort of useless job or something like that. Yeah. So therefore the housewife, who maybe, any of you housewives, you know what it's like. The children, what do? Leave their clothes on the floor from the day before. And the husband, what does he do? He does the same thing. And the children don't make their beds. I made my bed when I was young, from the age of, I forget what it was, 10 or something. But the first 10 years, I never made my bed. My mother did. So, there's a saying, a man may work from dusk to dawn, but a woman's work is never done. Something like that. But if you're doing all your household chores for Krishna, to help your family in Krishna consciousness, then ladies, you can be dancing around the home, picking, changing the sheets, dancing while you change the sheets, dancing while you clean the house. How does that sound? Idealistic. It sounds idealistic, but it's not exactly. Because Arjuna was dancing and killing. Really. He was ecstatic. It wasn't just like, oh, well, okay, if I have to do it, I'll do it. He was in ecstasy, doing his service for Krishna, slaughtering hundreds of people. Yes. So, TK, kya ho raha hai? Abhi. Okay. Is there someone else? Or am I? Is there someone else coming to do this? Or am I the last one? Okay, here's another question. Are you okay? Are you still awake? Are you still alive? Okay, I'll answer one more. I'll answer one more. When someone dies in an accident, is it Krishna's decision? Is it the soul who wants to go back? Or is it just an accident? The cause is a reaction. Well, someone, there are many someones, and not all someones are equal. The devotees who are someone, every devotee is someone. For them, when they die, any sincere devotee, when the devotee dies, then Krishna is behind it. You know, occasionally a devotee dies in an accident. Even, you know, one of our most senior devotees, back it was a bit more than 10 years ago, like 12 years ago, I think, or something. Tamal Krishna Goswami, some of you would have known of him or maybe have known him personally. I knew him personally. He died in a car accident. That's another quick way to go. Yeah. So, but others, you know, they have cancer. We just visited, what was it, yesterday? It was yesterday. Kashyapa, you know, Kashyapa, devotee, very nice devotee. His wife has cancer, which has just taken over her body, and she's just, it's a matter of days. It seems it's a matter of days. So some people die of cancer, some have a heart attack, some get murdered. In Durban, you know, Durban is one of these murder capitals of the world. Over, I mean, quite a few years, like 20 years, we have lost more than 20 devotees to murder. Devotees, like real devotees, initiated devotees in most cases, they were murdered. The thing is, you got to go, we've all got to go in some way or other. Who knows? Yeah. So we're all going to die, and at least for the devotees, Krishna is behind it. Yeah. And basically Krishna is calling you to him, but in a way which he feels is suitable for you. So, yeah. So then it's Krishna's decision. And some people die old. I mean, some devotees die old, some die young. One sort of disciple of mine in Johannesburg just gave birth a matter of a couple of months ago, not long, a couple of months ago. And the baby within the womb was like, things were normal. I mean, it's not easy. Those of you who have given birth, you would know it's not easy at the best of times. But, you know, it was all going on, and the baby was alive, and the time came for the baby to come out, and the baby came out, and the baby was stillborn. Somehow, at the last moment, the baby passed away, which was very shocking for this poor young girl. You know, she's in her 20s, a nice devotee from childhood. So what to do? We would say, I mean, it's quite possible in that sort of case that the person, the child, in the previous life they were a devotee, and they almost came to the point where they're able to return back to Godhead, but not quite. So they had to take birth again, but just, you know, it would be very short, and then they go back to Godhead just like that. So, but you know, if we talk about just ordinary people, like people who are walking in the street, when they die, it is their karma. It is their karma. And Prabhupada, an interesting example at least that Prabhupada gave was that when a number of people, by their karma, have to die at the same moment, in the same, like in a very violent type of way. You know what Krishna does, or the demigods do, Yamaraj does? He puts them all on the same aeroplane. Every one of them gets on the same aeroplane for their own personal reasons. But they're all due to die according to their karma at the same moment, violently. So they're all put on the same plane. And the plane crashes. And basically plane crashes means that the moment of impact, everyone's just gone. Yeah. Harivam. Karma. Yeah, so that's for the average, sort of regular day-to-day people. It's their karma in one way or another. And some of them die unexpectedly, some of them almost die, but then they don't die. And they live on. I mean, it's all their karma. It's all their karma. Okay. What now? Finish. Kyun. Ek or. Shall I answer one more? Shall we wait till tomorrow? Shall we do it democratically? Should I ask? Shall we take a vote? If you want me to answer one more question, put your hand up. Oh, you're trying to be nice, aren't you? Trying to encourage me. They want me to answer a question. All right, so here we go. In what mood and with what attitude should I distribute the books of Srila Prabhupada so that people derive maximum spiritual benefits upon receiving the books? Well, that's a nice question, isn't it? Yeah, right. You should distribute the books. It's sort of like a combination of a couple or a few factors in terms of attitude and mentality. First thing is, you should have a mood that I am doing this as a service to Srila Prabhupada, as a service to my spiritual master. That's one thing. And another thing is, I am distributing these books because the people desperately need this knowledge. They really need it. If they don't get it, then their futures are probably going to be pretty bleak. So they need it, and to help them. So like a mood of compassion to help them. So a mood of service, duty and service, and a mood of trying to help the people. These are sort of the ideal state of mind when you're distributing Prabhupada's books, or for that matter, if you're presenting Krishna consciousness in any type of scenario, in any type of way, like even doing something like what I'm doing right now. This should be my attitude. And when we're talking about distributing books, it's best not to be in the mood that I want to distribute as many books as possible so I become famous as a big, successful book distributor. And when all the other devotees see me, they'll think, wow, look at him. He's that famous book distributor. I mean, it's better than not distributing the books at all. But in terms of a Krishna conscious attitude, it's not the best. But rather, we should be in the mood of, in terms of why we're doing it, to please the spiritual master, to please Krishna. Like that. And then if you're in that mood, then when you deal with the people, in many cases they will feel in a sort of subtle way, subtle connection psychologically, emotionally. You know, there are like emotional exchanges when we interact with anybody. But if we have that sort of attitude when we're presenting things or when we're trying to distribute the books, then the people will feel that this person actually wants to help me. Not just like this person wants to sell me something so he gets my money. Yeah. So oftentimes they'll feel, you know, that this person is nice, this person is well-meaning, and this person is concerned about me. Okay, here's the last one, everyone. What should I answer to people if they tell me that that they get all the books in Vedabase? Do you know what Vedabase is? Prabhupada's books on computer or on the internet for that matter, or on your telephone. Yeah. I mean, that's good, it's not bad, it's good. Well, then, you know, if they say that, of course, you can ask them if they read them. Because, you know, reading books on your computer is not the best way to read books. You know, an actual book as such is generally understood to me be more effective. But what you can do is say, okay, you got the books, great, please read them. And just ask them, could you please give a donation anyway? Give a donation, and we'll use your donation. I mean, they'll understand. If they know enough about Krishna consciousness to have the Veda base, they'll understand that if they give a donation, it will be good for them. And they may give a donation if they trust you. If they don't, if they think you're just going to put it in your pocket and just run off and buy stuff for yourself, who knows? Yeah, anyway, that's sort of a bit of a tricky question. Well, one thing I can say, you know what? In Goloka Vrindavan, in the kingdom of God, well, one thing is, there is a branch of ISKCON Mauritius in Goloka Vrindavan. Yes. And some of the members from here have already gone there and they're waiting for you. Yeah, that's one thing. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. Oh yeah, right, okay. In Goloka Vrindavan, devotees do book distribution. Yes, of course they do. They do everything that we do, very transcendently. They also distribute Prabhupada's books. And devotees, every day they go door to door distributing Prabhupada's books in Goloka Vrindavan. So whatever door you knock on and say, here, look, take one of our books or a set of books, you know what it's like, I'm sure it happens here. The person says, oh, I've got it already. And many people have got it already, actually. But in Goloka Vrindavan, even though everyone has, for example, many sets of Srimad Bhagavatam, but still they always take another one. Yeah. Hare Krishna. So, yeah. So, everyone takes a book in Goloka Vrindavan. It's a book distributor's paradise. Well, it's a paradise for everyone, actually. Yeah. Okay, there you go, devotees. That's it for today. See you tomorrow. Kaumalenge and Kaumalenge. How to say it in Creole? I don't know. How do you say? See you tomorrow. Oh, Aduma. Aduma. I mean, that's French also. Aduma. Okay. Huh?
This one. Do. Right. We meet again. We meet again.
Oh, okay.
Do sweat.
Do sweat.
Do sweat.
Sweat.
Do sweat.
Do sweat. I got it.
Do sweat.
Français or Creole? Ah oui. Merci beaucoup.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Yes. We just like thanking you, Maharaj, for the time you spent with us. So a round of applause for Maharaj, everyone. So Maharaj will be here again tomorrow for another session of question and answers, hopefully.
I'm ready.
Yes. So we have an appointment with Maharaj tomorrow. I don't know the time exactly, but Maharaj will be like having another session of question and answers. So once again, Maharaj, thank you very much. À demain.
À demain. Merci beaucoup.
Hare Krishna.
Vous êtes très gentil.
Hey, Prabhu.